Surprise! I know it's Monday. I don't usually update on Monday. Or technically this will go up Tuesday. I'm filming this on Monday because guess what? My kids have therapy on Monday too. Anyway, hello everybody. I am Becca and I want to update you on what's going on because some more stuff has happened. So the last Wednesday, I want to say, yes, Wednesday, the guy who was going to buy our house did an inspection, and he was supposed to submit any requests for changes in price or fixes by midnight on Friday. True to the fashion that he had been showing up until this point, he waited until very last minute Friday night to inform my agent that if the price did not get dropped, the selling price of the home did not get dropped to $257, he was going to not buy the house. So, and he officially withdrew his active bid from the house. And I thought, that's it, we're done. We're all done. We're finally done. Nope. Because I had voiced on multiple occasions to my agent how much I wanted this to happen, she filed an extension with the townhome people, the people that we were going to buy the townhome from. And so now we have 10 days to attract a new buyer. So we've changed the listing price, and we've changed some other things, such as because we dropped the price, and I did math. I finally did the math that I know I needed to do. And it's like, look, in order to be able to afford this, we need to sell my house for no less than $275. And that's with allowing for the 4% buying agent fees or commission, the 3% seller commission, which seems to be pretty much industry standard. I mean, this guy was his own agent and was going to get 4% from buying my house. So it's essentially paying him to buy my house. It's like, that's kind of backwards. That also accounts for buyer's closing costs, taxes, fees, whatnot. Not to mention the $13,000 I would need to pay for closing costs on the new home, which seems to be about average. And I was like, look, we've gotten a lot of feedback about how the price of the home, what needs to happen to the home, is not reflected in the price, is not reflected in the listing. So we're like, we'll drop it to $275 because that's what we need it to sell at, and we're going to say as is. And hopefully that will change people's perception of what they think is going on with this house. Because again, I initially put in by accident my neighbor's address. I live in a duplex, and I put in his address. Well, I put in the address just without the duplex B. We live in B, he lives in A. And it said that, the estimated market value was $290. And we had started listing this at $280. So again, I think people already had the perception of their minds of what's wrong with this house. A lot of people had, when I told them that we were listing for $279, that they felt like that number was low. And in retrospect, I agree with them. But you can't go up when you're selling your house. You can only go down. So because there are some aesthetic things that need to happen with the house, like the master bathroom has not been, did not get redone when everything else got redone. When everything did get redone, the color scheme in my little boy's room is, you know, definitely not neutral, definitely not beige, you know, and there's some other things that are very aesthetic that are technically wrong with the house. I mean, the wiring's a little wonky, but it's not like, if the fan, so we have a fan light combo in our living room. If the fan is on and the little middle light is on, then that light, if the fan is on high and the light is on, the light will flicker. And then there's something going on else with the wiring, because if you have the light on in the bathroom and the light on in the dining room, not all the time, but it feels random. When you turn off the light in the bathroom, the lights in the living room will flicker. Not all the time, just every so often, and it feels random. Like sometimes I will have both lights on for 2 minutes and nothing will happen. And another time I had the bathroom light on while the living room or dining room light was on for like maybe 30 seconds, because I went in there to get something and came back out, and the light in the dining room turned off for like a full second. So it's just like, what is up with that? I don't know. But in order to get wiring assessed is quite a chunk of change, and it's like, it really doesn't affect our daily life. It's one of those things that just happens, again, very randomly, very few and far between. And when it happens, we all go, you know? So that being said, I don't know what the gameplay is if we don't get another buyer in 10 days. I haven't asked because, as y'all know, I'm done with this. I actually am back to the mentality that I was before I asked for this woman's help, which was almost 2 months ago at this point, which is, we need to move in 1.5 to 2 years, and we need to move to Chattanooga. And that there's 2 reasons why. There's a lot of reasons why I'm thinking Chattanooga. And that's because, as much as I love where I live, living in Nashville is becoming dangerous, not from a criminal standpoint, just from a driving standpoint. The people around here are getting dangerous with their driving, and it makes me nervous. There is not, every time I go out, I almost get in a car accident. Not because of me, because of somebody else. Almost every time I go out now. So I have to drive very defensively. So trying to teach my autistic children to drive here is not something that appeals to me. Chattanooga is still close enough to Nashville that if my parents stay in Nashville, I can come visit them every 3 months. And, you know, they have enough rooms in their house that we could stay with them overnight for free and make a long weekend of it, and it's no big deal. Or if they don't want us to stay in their house, you know, then it's going to be every 6 months, because we would have to save up to afford a Airbnb or something like that. So I'd much rather do that, especially when I've looked in Chattanooga and there are houses that have more final home potential within, like, and then just out of our current price range. So it's just like, you know, if we wait a year and a half, do all these aesthetic things that other people want to do anyway, we could easily sell our house for $300,000, maybe even $320,000, and then we can afford something that is, you know, more, you know, we can afford the $350,000, maybe even the $375,000 in Chattanooga, which has the 2-car garage, the 3,000 square feet, the 4 bedrooms, the 3 bathrooms, everything we're looking for. So, and it's like, I told my roommate, you know, maybe it's a little depressing that we're back at that original thought, but maybe we had to go through this process to validate that thought. So, I think I'm gonna have to wait until the dust completely settles from this to start working on things really in earnest on my house. There are a few things that I feel like I'm like, okay, this needs to be taken care of, this needs to be taken care of, but for the most part, until I know for sure we're not moving, I'm not going to do anything really earth-shattering. Like, I'm going to hold off on redoing the bathroom. I'm not going to be doing any repairs on the floor. I'm actually, one of the part of the thought process of selling into 1.5, 2 years is basically we move all of our things into a storage unit, and then we, you know, at that point we've already done all the repainting, and we just need to pay somebody to come in and redo the floors real quick. I didn't mean all the floors, because at that point even the newer floor will be 7 years old, and you know, I'd rather, if we're gonna redo all the floors, we're gonna redo all the floors, and that way it's the same flooring all throughout the house. I think that would appeal to a lot of people. You know, we'll repaint the bedroom a more neutral color, you know, get rid of the really hard to deal with tiling around the shower. It looks nice, but it made installing the shower rod difficult. So, you know, when the time comes, we're going to be removing that tile. Well, I mean, we're going to be redoing the tile anyway, so might as well remove that tile, patch it up, ring hang the shower curtain so it looks nice. Things like that that we think are going to benefit us more long term. I know that was a lot of information, a lot of me just sitting here talking at you. I hope it makes sense. As things progress, I will let everybody know what's going on, because you know what? I bet you're just like me going, I don't know what's going to happen next, and I feel like I should have a bag of popcorn and a soda just watching the craziness unfold around me. I am working on the panda blanket, and hopefully I'll be further along when it's time for my update on Wednesday. That being said, I'm going to go ahead and sign off. If you enjoyed this, I was about to say movie. Oh my gosh. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like. Especially if you're a subscriber. That way you can stay subscribed, and the evil YouTube overlords will not unsubscribe you from my channel against your will. I say that because if you don't interact enough with your videos, the YouTube guys come through and clean off subscribers. It's something they do automatically every so often. Feel free to comment down below. It helps my analytics. Feel free to subscribe, even if it's just for the trauma of my house sale. And if you really want to help this channel grow, share this video with everyone you know. In the meantime, make what makes you merry. Ciao.